On today's Apple Daily, did Apple just leak their own 16-inch MacBook? Microsoft Office adds mouse and trackpad support to the iPad version, and the AirPods range could be getting a big makeover.
This is the Apple Daily.
I'm David for Living on iPad, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. If you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, really this time, like this video, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you can be notified every time we put out a new video and join our notification squad. Details at the end. Did Apple just leak their own 16-inch MacBook Pro? So in a new Apple support document or update for Bootcamp, the Bootcamp update 16.1.13, they mentioned the 2019 and 2020 MacBook Pro 16-inch and 2020 MacBook Pro 13-inch. The only thing is, we don't have a MacBook Pro 16-inch 2020. They haven't released one yet. So, spoilers? So I guess this is kind of a leak, but is it really a leak? Because, you know, Apple did it. But it does look like there might be a 16-inch MacBook Pro coming by the end of this year. This is a concern for me. So I was looking forward to the November event being a very much Apple Silicon driven event, and you might be getting quite excited thinking, well, maybe it means that we're getting a 16-inch MacBook Pro with Apple Silicon. But Apple Silicon isn't going to have Bootcamp. This means we may well be getting an Intel version using those 10th gen processors that I think they updated the 13-inch with. Why are we putting out more Intel Macs? Surely as soon as everyone sees Apple Silicon and how it's running, are they going to care? Put it this way, there might be a use case for it, especially for pros that need a MacBook Pro at the moment and can't wait for a 16-inch with Apple Silicon, which I don't think will be released, as I said, until at least March of next year, maybe WWDC. But if they're going to release an Intel one now, it makes it feel like it's going to be even longer before we see Apple Silicon in the 16-inch model. The other slight concern that I have, Rene Ritchie's video today that I watched was excellent, as usual, because it's Rene Ritchie, and he was talking about what product they're going to pair up with Apple Silicon, because we did Apple Watch and iPads, we did iPhones and HomePod Minis, and we're going to get something else with Apple Silicon, most likely. And the most likely thing is to be AirTags, I would think, because we have had reports that they're going to come out with iOS 14.3, which makes all the sense in the world. But if they're going to put out Intel Macs with Big Sur, as well as an Apple Silicon Mac, at least, with Big Sur, it kind of reduces the chances of us getting multiple Apple Silicon Macs. So maybe we're going to be getting one or two at a push if they've also got Intel stuff to talk about. There's every chance that they might just do a website refresh for a 16-inch MacBook Pro upgrade rather than including it at the event. Who knows? But I'm a little bit sad about it. Because as well, you know, if they actually do put out a 16-inch MacBook Pro with the Intel chips and then they bring out an Apple Silicon one in a few months, all those people are going to be whinging. Microsoft has added mouse and trackpad support to Office for iPad. Now, this sounds like a very small bit of news, but from my point of view, it actually is quite nice because it does kind of reassure me that Microsoft Office is more likely than not to be ready for the Apple Silicon event in November. To be completely honest, the code base that's behind the iPad and the Mac versions of Office is probably going to be very, very similar at this point, with the amount of power that's in the iPads now and the amount of stuff that they can do. There should be nothing about Microsoft Office that would need to be paired out of an iPad, especially if you've got mouse and trackpad support. So all this says to me is it's going to be ready for that launch date, which is what we were expecting anyway, based on what was told at WWDC. To anyone that was concerned about software support when we get to Apple Silicon, this should help to alleviate some of your worries. And AirPods Range could be getting a big makeover. Now, according to Bloomberg, Apple's AirPods and AirPods Pro could well be getting a major overhaul in the next 12 months. So AirPods Generation 3 could be set to adopt much of the AirPods Pro design, style with removable ear tips, shorter stems, as well as an improved wireless chip. I would assume that's going to include the U1 chips, whether that will be in the individual earbuds or just in the charging case, so that you can find them in your jeans pocket and hopefully not when you just take them out of the washing machine. Think of it a little bit like the iPad Air. They're going to look a lot like the Pro, but drop some of the higher end features like potentially the spatial audio and the noise cancelling. Maybe they'll even call them AirPods Air. I really hope they don't do that, Apple. That would be a bad Apple. Brian, thank you. Just borrowed that. AirPods Pro 2, they are going to lose the stems altogether by all accounts, so we're now copying from Samsung, or that'll be the accusations, obviously, that we've just stolen the idea of having earpods without sticks sticking out of them. That's a Samsung thing. Who cares? But they will keep the spatial audio, noise cancelling, and gain probably some new features as well with their redesign. Don't know what yet, but there has been a lot of talk about Apple using AirPods as a wearable in terms of getting some health data, so potentially pulse in there for if you're going for a run and you don't want to wear an Apple Watch, something like that. Maybe. I would guess they're also probably going to get U1 chips, because everything that Apple makes from now on, including probably charge bricks, cables, all going to have U1 in it, because otherwise you'll never be able to find anything. Once you've been spoiled by AirTags, finding a thing yourself, finding an iPhone case or, some chips, is going to be impossible without U1. So all of this stuff will sit alongside the AirPods Studio, which are the over-ear headphones, which Apple is apparently having some problems with production on and may well not be arriving until March next year. But it would be quite cool if we had a March event that was all about AirPods and maybe some more HomePod stuff. Basically an audio-focused event. That would be quite cool. And then obviously throw us in some more Apple Silicon, because we love us some Apple Silicon. If they're going to redesign the third generation AirPods to look like AirPods Pro, maybe we could get AirPods SE that looks like the old ones and has slightly less cool stuff in it, but is much cheaper. Maybe we could get like a $99 pair of AirPods, or a $79 set of AirPods. I don't know. $79 for no wireless case and just original style AirPods. That seems pretty cool to me. I would definitely be buying them. The AirPods SE thing, complete speculation on my part, but it just seems like it would be in line with what Apple has done with a lot of their other lines at the moment, with the iPhones going from SE to standard to Pro. Maybe iPads need to go from SE for the base level to iPad or iPad Air and then up to Pro. That would make a lot more sense. Let's keep everything simple, Apple, eh? Notification Squad, we have a new member today, so thank you to Mark A for joining. If you want a shout out in our next video and you want to join my Notification Squad, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and let me know in the comments that you've done those 3 things so that I can give you a shout out in our next video. If there's anything you want me to answer on one of these shows, let me know in the comments and use hashtag iCave answers, and I will see you on tomorrow's show. Thanks so much for watching.